Greetings, mighty companions. Welcome to the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center 12:30 Course in Miracles session. And welcome to you guys here in person. Thank you for coming out in person to attend this in-person Course in Miracles class. It's like become a rare thing these days. In-person Course in Miracles class. It's wonderful. Such a miracle. One thing that COVID did not kill. All right. And so we are going to, I think I'm going to pass on doing the opening meditation just because we've got a lot to cover today, and we'll do an integration meditation at the end where we take the ideas and use them on whatever our life is like. And so where we are going to be today is chapter 18, section 3. It's called The Basis of the Dream. And if you have the original dictation book, the original edition book, whether it's the black covered edition or the purple covered edition, the original dictation title of this section is Dreams as Protests Against Reality. So have you ever been to a protest? Okay. He's talking about how our dreams, our night dreams, are protests against reality, but it also has a lot to say about how we use our special relationships also to protest against reality. Wow, what a great use of your relationships. Now, Basis of the Dream, 18.3.
And in this book, like in the dream, I'm on the right place?
No.
Yes, you are.
Oh, you are?
That's 3.
I'm sorry.
2 is the basis.
I'm sorry. It's chapter 18, section 2.
Okay.
Sorry.
The basis of the dream. That's what you said first. Yeah.
I love it. Tricia says she is watching us while she's out in the farm. She's farming. I love it. Good. Farming miracles. Now, yesterday when I went to do the random number generator prayer, I did the prayer and I put in all 3 books of the course: text, workbook, teacher's manual. It picked out the text, and then I put in the 31 and it pulled this up. And my first thing, speaking of protests against reality, my first thought was, we have done this section so many times in the last 6 months. And I was like, Spirit, are you sure? Like, maybe we got that one wrong? And then I said, or should I just trust that you know what you're doing? And then, of course, Spirit laughs and goes, why don't you trust what I'm doing? I think my track record speaks for itself. And so I started reading it, and I realized that in the last 6 months, even though we've done it several times, we never got past paragraph 4 or 5. And then as I was reading the paragraph 5 through the end, it was like kablamo. So what I am going to do is I am going to recap the first 4 paragraphs, and then we are going to start at paragraph 5. Okay, and it's going to take us in a whole nother, it's going to take us in a deep, deep place. Now, it's going to take us in such a deep place, such a place that our ego, it resists typically, that I want to remind you that the guidelines that A Course in Miracles itself gives for reading this material and doing the workbook is, it says, remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you will find hard to resist. Some of them, the ideas you will find quite startling. And remember that it said, that doesn't matter. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. If you start going like this, don't feel bad. Don't feel, and don't judge the other people around you. Even if they fall on your shoulder and start drooling.
And where's that quote you need?
It's at the very beginning of the workbook.
Okay.
So before workbook lesson number, it's in the introduction to the workbook.
It's at the last paragraph of the introduction.
Yeah.
So
because we're going to be talking about the ego's entire MO. I mean, this is the ego, what the ego lives for, what the ego is all about. So we're going right to the heart of the ego. And so the ego is not going to be loving this, okay? So I just want you to remember that. Yes?
Is the reason for that disclaimer because the Course wants to just kind of circumvent all of our junk that would kind of block it and let it go straight to,
Yes.
I don't know, like subconscious mind?
Well, we humans do not like to listen to things that we don't understand or have resistance to. We only like to listen to things we agree with and think we understand. And people we don't understand and don't agree with, we don't want to listen to them. We're like, I don't know what you're saying, right? And so it circumvents that part of us that's like, well, I'm not going to listen to it unless I understand it completely or like what it's saying. And so it kind of circumvents that, and basically lets you know that you're going to hear things that you don't understand, that you don't like, and that you have noticeable resistance coming up to. And so it wants you to know that so that you're just like, oh, it must be working. You know, it's like some medicine when you pour the alcohol on the wound, and because it hurts, you know it's working. So here with the Course, when you experience resistance to these ideas, you could go, oh, it must be working. When you find yourself like trying to read and you're like falling asleep and you cannot wake up. You're like, it's like putting you in a trance, you know, I'm trying to wake up, I'm trying to read. You could say, instead of going, I'm a bad Course student, you could go, oh, it must be true. Oh, it must be working for the ego to have such a level of resistance. Okay, so great question. Okay, so I am now going to recap paragraph 1 through 4, and then we're going to pick up at paragraph 5. Okay, so what it is saying to recap in paragraph 1 through 4 in the basis of the dream is this. It starts off by talking about our night dreams. You may remember this because I've taught this section many times the last 6 months. It starts talking about our night dreams. It's chapter 18:2. And I'm recapping the first 4 paragraphs, so don't try to follow me in the paragraphs. So it starts off by talking about our night dreams. And it says, notice how in your night dreams, it is a whole world that seems to be real. And also, it's a world that seems to be completely real, so much so that when you wake up, you don't expect that world you saw in your dreams to be gone, right? You're always surprised, oh, thank God that was a dream, okay? And it says that there's no better demonstration that your mind has the ability to make up a world based solely around what you would prefer to happen. And there's no better demonstration of the power of the mind to make up a world that you prefer and to believe it completely. There's no better demonstration, because that world you see in your night dreams, that obviously is not really happening. Where is it happening? In my mind, which means it's 100% coming from my mind. They know it's not happening in somebody else's mind while they're sleeping, okay? And then it also says about your night dreams, it says that your night dreams are chaotic. Anybody recognize that? Wake up in the morning, you're like, what the what? Like, what? I don't even know. You know, you can't even, it's so chaotic, you know, because anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. There are no limitations on your imagination in your night dreams. But they're chaotic because your night dreams are being, they are representing your conflicting wishes. So I've got a bunch of wishes and they're all conflicting with each other, okay? Some days I want to love, some days I want to fear, some days I want to love, some days I want to attack, some days I want to join, some days I want to separate. I have conflicting wishes, okay? And so that's why our dreams are so chaotic, our night dreams, okay? Does that make sense about our night dreams, okay? Then it says that when you wake up, you are surprised that it's gone, and you're not disturbed by how different that world is, your sleeping dream world, than your waking dream. Okay. All right. It says that it says this is what you see in your night dream is a distortion of the world planned solely around what you would have preferred. So in your night dreams, you literally are free to make over reality. It's the ultimate reality makeover. That's what your night dreams are, okay? And your night dreams show that your ego is completely offended by reality, okay? And that your ego sees reality as something it is attacked by. Because why? Because your ego is not real. So what does that mean? That means your ego sees reality as something that's attacking it. The ego always sees itself as vulnerable to and under attack by reality. Isn't that deep? We have a belief system within us that sees reality as an attack and sees itself as under attack by reality and vulnerable to reality all the time.
And isn't that the cause doesn't that come from the mammalian brain?
Yeah, it comes because the ego is not real. And so the ego doesn't want reality, because if reality dawns on your mind, that means the ego's gone.
Well, for reality with a capital R.
Yes, that's what I mean. Exactly. Yes, reality with a capital R. Thank you for saying that. Okay? And so that's what, and so the ego, and then we who identify with our ego, we also feel completely offended by reality. And so since we identify with our ego, our goal in life now is to attack reality, change reality, and control reality to what we would prefer it be, believing, deluding ourselves in believing if I can just control reality, change reality, alter reality to what I think would satisfy me, then I think I'll be happy. So now my goal is one with my ego's goal, which is to change reality, alter reality, substitute reality, deny reality, and to make it over to how I would prefer it to be. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, and then it says literally your night dreams are your perceptual temper tantrums, where you literally scream, I want it this way. I want life to be like this. I want the world to be like this. I want to be like this. You literally are throwing a perceptual temper tantrum, screaming, I want it this way. Wow. Okay, good to know. And so it says that, so then you think that what the figures in your sleeping dreams, you think that what happened in the sleeping dream is what terrified you, and you think the figures in your sleeping dream, they're what terrified you. I was being chased by a monster, and that's why that dream was terrifying. It says that the figures in your dream and what's happening in your night dreams is not what makes them so terrifying and chaotic. What makes your night dreams so terrifying and chaotic is the wish to control reality. That's the boogeyman. That's what makes them so terrifying. That's what makes them so chaotic. That we have a desire to overthrow reality, control reality, change reality, alter it to our satisfaction. Mine. I don't want much. I just want to control all of reality for my liking. You know, because I mean, really, you know, it's my world, right? And you just happen to be in it. Okay? You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for showing up in my reality. Okay. And so that is that desire, that belief that there's something wrong with the reality, I'm under attack and vulnerable to reality, things are not going the way I would like them to be. You know, reality is attacking me, and so now I want to change it and alter it for my liking, for my preferences. Who cares about everybody else? He says that wish that governs our night dreams and makes them so terrifying and chaotic is a wish that doesn't stop when we wake up in the morning. Okay? Just because you wake up in the morning and go, oh, that was a crazy dream. Ooh, wow. I should not eat burritos that late at night. That wish to, that perception that reality is offending me and attacking me, and the wish to change reality for my satisfaction has stayed with me. I still have that wish to control reality. Okay? And so now I go off into my world and I still have that desire. I still don't like it the way it is. I still am like, well, if that were different, I'd be happy. Oh, if you were different, I'd be happy. This is not right. This is not the way it should be. It really should be like this. Okay, right? That belief that if I could just change reality to what I prefer, I'd be satisfied is still dominating my consciousness. All right? Now, then it goes on to say, and we'll start in paragraph 5 in a moment, it goes on to say that when you wake up, it calls it your waking dreams. We go, I'm awake, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sleeping in my bed. When you wake up, instead of using your night dreams to change over reality to make it how you would like it to be, you use your relationships to change reality and to control reality. So you go from trying to alter and change and control reality through your night dreams in your mind to during the daytime using your relationships to control reality. Oh, well, isn't that special? Yes, it is, literally. And so the special relationship is where you don't like things the way they are. You don't like people the way they are. You don't like the relationship just the way it is. And so here you are now going to like change them. You're going to change the relationship. You're going to be dissatisfied with the relationship and try to get people to change for you. You're going to change over their reality and the reality of the relationship to satisfy you. So it's like, so that's what it's going to talk about. Doesn't that sound fun? Doesn't that sound great? Because, I mean, and we should have no problem with that because none of us do that here. None of us, yeah, except Greg's about to say except him.
I was going to say it finally makes sense why I'm struggling so much because everybody out there is trying to control reality.
Oh, yes. Oh, I see. And so what does that mean? That they're trying to control you? Is that what you're about?
If everybody would quit trying to control reality, then wouldn't it be better for me?
He can control
Yes,
it.
right, exactly. Yes, because then they wouldn't be trying to change you. Okay, and so.
I'm just joking, baby.
Oh, you are? Okay, okay. I'm glad you told me that. Yes, and so. Okay, so now we're going to start at paragraph 5. It's going to go over a little bit what we just recapped, and then it's going to move forward in paragraph 5. Okay, ready for this?
Ready.
All right. night dreams, paragraph 5. See where it says dreams show you? See that? Okay. Here, when it talks about dreams, at this point it means night dreams, okay? So it says night dreams show you that you have the power to make a world as you would have that world be, and that because you want that world, you see that world. And your night dreams show you that you have the power to make that. And while you see this world in your night dreams, the world you want, you don't doubt that that world is real. Yet here in your night dreams is a world clearly within your mind that seems to be outside your mind. And the world you see in your night dreams, you don't respond to it as though you made that world, nor do you realize that the emotions the night dream produces must come from you. It is the figures in your night dreams and what the figures in your night dreams seem to do that makes the dream. What you don't realize about your night dreams is that you are making the figures in your night dreams act out for you. And why don't you realize that? Because if you realize you're making the figures in your night dreams act out for you, then the guilt would not be theirs. And the illusion of satisfaction for that night dream would be gone. Okay? So you see that in your night dreams? That's a world that's obviously happening in your own mind, right? But what you don't realize is that you are making the figures in your night dreams act out for you. But if you realize that, because if you realize that, then you couldn't project guilt. You couldn't go, that monster was chasing me and frightened me, right? If you know you're making the figures in your own dream act out for you, then you wouldn't be angry with them. You wouldn't be upset with the figures in your night dream.
I don't understand what guilt has to do with it.
Because you give guilt to people you think are making you feel the way you're feeling. But in your night dream...
So they're guilty.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You wouldn't see them as guilty. You wouldn't be angry at somebody who you know was acting out for you. If you tell somebody, hey, go take out the trash and do da-da-da-da-da, and they go out and do it, then you wouldn't put guilt on them if they didn't do it right, because they're acting out for you. Okay? Now, it says in your night dreams, it says in night dreams, these features are not obscure. Right? It's obvious. I mean, obviously it must be me. It's all in my head, my night dreams. But this says, now you seem to waken up in the morning and your night dream is gone. Yet what you fail to recognize is that what caused your night dream has not gone with it. Because your wish to make another world that isn't real remains with you. And so what you seem to waken to when you wake up in the morning is just another form of this same world that you saw in your night dreams. All your time is spent in dreaming. Your sleeping and your waking dreams have different forms, and that is all. Your sleeping dreams and your waking dreams, their content is the same. What are they the same? They are your protests against reality and your fixed and insane idea that you can change reality. Okay? So that's what's going on here. I have a fixed and insane idea that reality should be changed and that I can change it. Okay? That is my fixed and insane idea that, reality, there's something wrong with reality. Okay? Let me just tell you something. There's always something wrong with the way it is, right? There's always something wrong with the way they are. There's always something wrong with the way this is going on. There's always something wrong with what's going down. It always should be a different way. Something else should be happening. If only this were different, I'd be happy. If only this were different, if only they were different, I would be happy. If only I were different. In other words, if only reality were different than the way it is right now, it would be perfect and I'd be happy. That is my fixed and insane belief system called the ego. Okay? And it was saying earlier that fixed and insane belief is what is terrifying me. Not what's happening in the world that's not right. What's terrifying me is my belief that I can change reality and that I want to and that it would satisfy me. And if something were different, I'd be happy. That is what is terrifying me.
Why is it terrifying and not empowering?
It's terrifying because if reality is so dysfunctional, if reality is so bad, that I have to constantly be trying to change it or control it to be happy, then holy cow. Then what is that saying about reality?
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting. You know, that's saying that there's something that reality, what it's saying is that it's implying that reality is that I am under attack and vulnerable to reality. That means reality is something bad. You know, if reality is something you gotta always be changing, always be altering, always be manipulating, you know, for it to be all right, you know, then life is a bitch and then you die. Right? Did you want to say something, George?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, kind of, when I hear us discussing reality, the one thing I want to point out is that there is only one reality, and that's our oneness with God. You know, this is a dream. You know, we call it real because it seems very real. Yeah, I mean, so like what the Course says to me is, you know, we're not here to deny the world. We're just here to deny our ego's interpretation of the world. You know, because obviously, you know, if I get a cut, it's going to feel really, you know, real to me, and I'm going to still put a Band-Aid on it. But yeah, what I want to focus on is that our true reality, you know, and here there's no capital R or lowercase r, it's just reality.
Right.
But the Course is talking about our reality is the oneness with God.
And real reality with a capital R is something that is wholly and completely satisfying to everyone all the time. Okay, so that's the reality as God created reality. Okay, and so but the ego, which we identify with, believes that real reality with a capital R as God created it is attacking it. Because real reality, even though real reality isn't attacking the ego, real reality would demonstrate that the ego isn't real. That's why the ego always feels like it's got to be changing and controlling reality. That's what the ego's all about. I don't like the way things are right now. This isn't good enough. This isn't right. There's something wrong with you. You need to change. I don't like the way you are like that. You did it. If you were just a little different, I'd be so happy. You'd be perfect if you were just a little different. I mean, if this were just a little different, it'd be so great. It'd be so great. Was that too much to ask? That is what the ego is always about. The ego's never like, this moment is so perfect. I have everything. I am complete. There's nothing lacking. It's so wonderful. Let's just all appreciate the magnificence of how complete and perfect this moment is. Isn't it great? You'll never hear the ego say that. Said no ego ever, right? Okay, now, so there we go. So thank you for saying that, George. So, you know, when it says about how the ego is trying to change reality, what it's saying is that the ego doesn't like things the way they are. The ego's always trying to change something, and the ego believes it can change reality. Well, if I just see it the way I want to see it, well, it's obviously different. You know, that's how arrogant and ignorant the ego is. Remember, what the ego's fixed and insane belief, the core of the ego is its idea that it can change reality. That's what it's all about. As if reality needs to be changed. Okay? Now, then it says, now it's going to shift, okay? Now it's going to shift talking about how that wish shifts from your night dreams to your relationships. And so it says, in your waking dreams, the special relationship has a special place. Aww. And your special relationships are the means by which you're gonna try to make your sleeping dreams come true. What's your sleeping dreams? I want to make over reality to the way I think would be better for me. Okay, that is so now in your relationships, you're gonna try to make that same wish come true, to make over reality. And from this wish, you don't wake up. Okay, when you wake up in the morning, you have not woken up from that dream, from that wish. And so that's why the special relationship is your determination to keep your hold on unreality, or let's say control. I'll say it again. The special relationship is your determination to keep your hold on control and to prevent yourself from waking. Okay? So when you're sleeping, you want to change reality to make it better for you. Okay? In other words, when you're asleep, you want to control reality. And you want to control reality when you're awake through other people. Says, so that's what it means to be asleep. I believe I can control and change reality, and I want to. That means I'm asleep. That means I'm dreaming. So you can put together sleeping and desire to control reality through others. Okay? And waking means I don't need to change reality. I don't need to change other people. I don't need to control other people. I don't need to change anything. Okay? I accept reality as it is, and it's perfectly satisfying to me all the time. Would somebody be willing to close the accordion things on there? Thank you. And there's a lock on there, George. Thank you. So, okay. So waking means I'm not insane. I don't have a need to control and change others, thinking that it would be better for me, since it's my world. Okay? That's what it means to be awake. Because I have accepted the wholly satisfying nature of reality. And I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I don't need anything to change for me to be satisfied, for me to be happy. I don't need anybody else to change for me to be satisfied, for me to be happy. I'm awake. That's what it really means to be woke. That's the real meaning of woke, y'all. You heard of like woke culture? Hey, and George, would you be willing to close that door too while you're up? Thank you so much.
George, would you?
George, could you change the environment for me to be happy? That's so hilarious. While I'm talking about that, I'm like, if only those people were not being so loud, then I would be happy. That's hilarious. While I was talking about it, I'm thinking if they weren't so loud, I would be happy.
Well, and it demonstrates how subtle our nature
Yes.
of following the ego is, getting us to do things.
Yeah.
Exactly. It shows you just how subtle and how pervasive is our wish, our belief that what's happening right now is not perfect, and if I could just adjust it a bit, it would be great. That wish, exactly like Greg was saying, if you really work with this concept, you will see how deep it goes, right? Because literally, just try for 5 minutes to just experience the wholly satisfying nature of reality. Like right now, this moment right now, I have everything. I am complete. I don't have any needs. I have everything. I am everything. I'm complete. There's nothing that I need to change or alter or do. And let me just enjoy the wholly satisfying nature of reality and see how long you can do that for. It'd be like 30 seconds in.
Maybe.
And you're like, if only I had a cup of coffee. It'd be this holy instant would be so much better if I had a cup of coffee. There'll be a million things. Okay. But waking up really does mean that you become aware. To be woke means that you begin to realize, so that at least when you find yourself being irritated or upset or trying to get somebody to change because you know, in the way that you like think that would make you happy, you'll go like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, I don't need to change reality. If I change them or alter them, it's not going to make me happy. You know, if I, you know, and then you say no to the impulse. You say no to the temptation. And then you have a much happier relationship because you're not always trying to control and change them. Right? Now people love being around you more. Now you have a more fulfilling relationship. And now spirit can really use your relationship for what your relationship is really for, which is not to control reality through that person, thinking that'll make you feel safer and happier. What? I thought that person was there for me. And the Course in Miracles says, your brothers and sisters were not created for you to control and dominate them for your own satisfaction. Come on. You know what that would make you? That'd make you a narcissist, right?
Or a married couple.
Or a married couple. Exactly. I mean, truly, you know, when people are like, I think that person's a narcissist, I'm like, everybody has a narcissist in them. It's called the ego. You know, the ego is like, you know, if you would just change and alter how you are, that would make me happy. It's like, well, my God, I'm sorry. You know, I just exist for your pleasure. Is that it?
And then once in a while, they do change for 2 days, and then they revert back, and you're pissed.
And
Or what happened? Or you talked about.
Or you tell them how you would like them to change, and they say, "Yes, dear," and they change.
A couple of days.
And then you're not happy. Now it's something else.
Yeah. Well, now
You're not satisfied. You know, even though you gave them the impression if they would change, you'd be happy, and then when they do change, you're still not satisfied. Now you want them to change something else, and then their partner goes, "Oh, you know, I noticed that no matter what I do isn't good enough for you, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, that's right."
No wonder I've been.
But if you were different, I'd be happy, you know. And that is what A Course in Miracles refers to as a special relationship. Okay, that is what A Course in Miracles means by a special relationship. It is a relationship where both people have the insane and fixed belief that they can change reality, and that it would be better for them if they could do that. Okay. And that they're trying to change reality through the other person, and they're trying to change the reality of the other person to suit them. That's a special relationship. A holy relationship is where you realize that I can't control reality. I don't want to control reality. Real reality is wholly satisfying, completely satisfying to me and everyone. And I don't want to change. I can't change the other person, and I don't want to change the other person. And their reality, their truth, is something that is the same as my reality and is wholly satisfying. Okay, that's a holy relationship, and that's the relationship that's a whole lot of fun, and it just keeps growing and evolving in joy and peace and abundance and fun. That's what makes a holy relationship holy and fun and safe and abundant and joyous, and a joyous, abundant adventure. Okay? All right. Beautiful. How's everybody doing out there? All right. Okay, how are you guys doing in here?
Good.
Okay. And you know I'm talking about other people, right? You know I'm not talking about y'all. Just, I mean, just, you know, for us. Like, we're just talking now for them. All right. So then I'm still in paragraph 5 in the last 2 sentences. And so where it says the special relationship is your determination to keep your hold on unreality, which means control, which means your special relationship is meant to prevent you from waking. I don't want to wake. Okay, I'm going to make a special relationship. All right. And while you see more value in sleeping or controlling than you see in waking, you will not let go of the special relationship. I'll say that again. While you see more value in controlling and changing reality as you see fit, you will not let go of a special relationship. You'll just get another one. When you go, oh, if I didn't have this one, I'd be happy, you just get another one. Okay? While you see more value in changing and controlling and altering reality, you won't let go of the special relationship. Because the special relationship is based on the idea of, I'll change for you if you change for me. Wink, wink. Right? I'll compromise for you. I'll change according to how you think you'd like it better if you'll change for how I think I'd like you better. Right? That's the special relationship. Now, when you let go of the belief that you can change reality and you let go of the desire to always be controlling and change your reality to meet your special needs, then you won't need those relationships where people control and manipulate you with guilt. You'll be like, oh no, been there, done that. Pass. You won't be trying to manipulate people and control them with guilt. And when people try to offer you guilt to manipulate you in your relationship, you'll be like, no, thank you. Have a nice day. Thanks for offering. No, thank you. Right? Okay. And that's some deep thoughts, huh? Can you see why I read you the Course in Miracles disclaimer, right? Okay. Now it's going to go on to give you the good news. Okay? Well, you just heard the hard news. You just heard what's hard to hear, right? Nobody likes to hear about what we all do. Okay? It's not comfortable. Now, paragraph 6, it says, the Holy Spirit, which is another name for your higher self, your loving right mind, ever practical in its wisdom, accepts your special relationships and uses your special relationships as means for waking. Okay? Notice how I went from night dreams to special relationships. Remember, it says your night dreams and your special relationships, they're both dreams. You're both dreaming. Okay? So now when it says the word dreams, I'm going to put in there your special relationships. Okay? Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay. So the Holy Spirit, ever practical in its wisdom, accepts your special relationships and uses your special relationships as means for waking. Why? Because you would have used your special relationships to remain asleep. And I said before that the first change before your special relationships disappear is that your special relationships of fear are changed to happy relationships. And that is what Spirit does in your special relationship. Spirit does not destroy your special relationship that was built on control and guilt and manipulation. Spirit doesn't go, that relationship was built on control and manipulation of guilt. I'm taking that from you. Okay? Spirit doesn't do that. Spirit goes, I know your relationships were built on control and changing reality and manipulation by guilt. That's all right. I'm not going to destroy it. I'm not going to snatch it away. But Spirit does use your special relationships differently. How? As a help to make love's purpose, spirit's purpose, real to you. Okay? Wonderful. Now, your special relationships will remain, okay? They're not going to be destroyed just because they were based on an illusion. The special relationship will remain, just not as a source of pain and guilt. Your special relationships will remain, but only as a source of joy and, drum roll please, freedom. Okay? The special relationship as we used them was not based on freedom, were they? It was like, if you would change, and if you would change like this, then I'd be happy. Okay? The opposite of freedom. You need to change for me. You're here for me. You exist for me. If you were different, I'd be happy. That is not freedom. That is the opposite of freedom. But now your special relationships will remain with you, but as a source of joy and freedom. How would you like all your relationships to be a source of freedom? Every relationship you're in, they're like, hey, you're free. You're totally innocent. Oh, you're free. You're totally innocent. Oh, you're free. You're totally innocent. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. You're free. You're totally innocent. Be yourself. You don't have to change for me. You're perfect as you are. You don't have to change for me. Just be yourself. How would you like for all your relationships to be a source of freedom and joy?
It would heal the generational gap.
Yes.
It would what?
It would heal the generation gaps. And I would like to also say it would also heal generationally. So is that what do you mean by if you would heal the generation gap?
Well, yeah, the old people are always wanting the young generation to be different. They don't understand them. They want to control them.
Yes.
As the young people, they think they know how to spend their money better.
That's right. Exactly. All right. And how does this happen? How does this change happen where your relationships, the relationships you have now, okay, that were formed on control and manipulation and guilt, how is it that they become transformed into relationships that now offer you only joy and freedom? Okay, how does that transformation occur? It occurs when you give those relationships to spirit for spirit to use. Okay? I had been using my relationships in my past for my benefit. If you would change, I would be happy. Okay? I was using them to alter and manipulate them with guilt to make me happy. And did that work? Did they make me happy? Hell no. Obviously. Okay? And so now, instead of my relationships there to serve me and my needs and my fantasies about how reality should be, now I'm like, Spirit, how do you want to use this relationship? Spirit, what's your use? What do you want to make of this relationship? Spirit, what do you want to do with this relationship? Now that it's not here for my satisfaction, not theirs, mine. Okay, now what? What would you do with them? How would you use them differently, Spirit? And so Spirit's like, oh, I thought you'd never ask. Well, thank you. Because what I can do with them is very different. And where yours were prison houses that you fantasized about breaking out of, right? Instead of you seeing your relationships as a prison house that is keeping you down and keeping you from being happy. Now your relationships are going to be something that's launching you. Go be free. Go do it. Go. You're awesome. Go do it. Go for it. You're wonderful. Just be yourself. That's good enough. That's perfect. Just go be yourself. Now, that would be a big improvement. Can I get an amen on that?
Amen.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, it says, I'm just going to read a little bit more of paragraph 7, and then we'll have to start closing up because we're getting close to the hour. God, the hour goes fast. So then, after you have giving your relationships to spirit to use instead of you using them in your, in your dictatorial way, your special relationship will become a means for undoing guilt in everyone blessed through your holy relationship. Woo, now you can have a relationship that blesses everybody. You have a relationship where everywhere you go, people are glad you're there. Everywhere you go, people are glad you're there with your relationship. Instead of the way it used to be when you and your relationship would come around, people were like, all right, everybody, okay, all right, don't make any sudden moves, right? Or they wouldn't invite you places because when you would go there with your relationship, y'all would fight. And so, now in your relationship with Spirit's purpose, everybody's happy for you and your relationship to come around. Imagine that. And he says, so now your special relationship will be a means for undoing guilt in everyone blessed through your happy relationship. Your relationship will now be your relationships will now be happy dreams, a happy relationship. What's a happy relationship? That's a relationship which you will share with everyone, all who come within your sight. And through now your happy, free relationships, the blessing of Spirit has laid upon your relationship will be extended. And don't think that Spirit has forgotten anyone in the purpose Spirit has given you. And don't think that Spirit has forgotten you to whom Spirit gave the gift. Spirit uses everyone who calls on Spirit as a means for the happiness of everyone, which means Spirit will awaken everyone through you who offered your relationships to Spirit. And if you only recognized Spirit's gratitude to you, or mine, says the author, through Spirits, because we are joined as in one purpose, being of one mind with God. Okay, so what's that saying here? It's saying that when you stop using and controlling your relationships, stop trying to control and manipulate their reality to fit you better, thinking that can ever satisfy you, even though it should be obvious it doesn't. And you give your relationships, whatever they are, to Spirit to use for you, then Spirit will take your relationship and turn your relationship into something that blesses everyone wherever your relationship goes. Wherever your relationship goes. Whatever situation your relationship goes into. Everybody's like, thank God you're here. Oh, we're so happy you're here. Oh, it's so much better when you're here. We love it when you come to visit. Okay? Imagine having relationships where everyone is blessed through your relationships instead of running and hiding from your relationships. Imagine. And it all comes from saying to your higher self, I do not like the result of how I have been using this relationship. It isn't making either one of us happy, neither one of us feel free, and that shouldn't be that way. So Spirit, how would you use this relationship? How would you use this to make us both happy? And hint, it's exactly the opposite of the way you've been using and controlling and manipulating your relationships for your benefit. A special relationship is where we're taking a completely narcissistic perspective. That's what a special relationship is. You just exist here for me. It's my dream. And I have the ability to alter reality as I see fit. And so now I'm going to alter you. And if you love me, then you'll let me change you. But when you let somebody change you and manipulate you with guilt, how do you typically feel about that person after that?
Angry.
A total resentment. You know, if you think that you would be satisfied if somebody would change for you. You think, oh, if they would just change for me, I'd be so satisfied and happy. But what really happens is you try to manipulate and control their reality, and now all you get is hate. Now they see you as their jailer. So how satisfied are you gonna be in that relationship? They can't wait to get away from you. You know, how happy are you gonna be in that relationship? But somebody who you're not constantly trying to control and manipulate and change and alter their reality, and you're not doing that to them, they won't be able to get enough of you. Because that's so rare, because that makes them feel loved, it makes them feel safe, it makes them feel seen, you know, because you're letting them be themselves and acknowledging how wonderful their real natural self is. Now they get to be their natural self. So that is how to allow your relationships to be transformed from prison houses to sources of joy and freedom. In one easy step. Okay. And the practical application is when you feel that upset, irritation, you feel anything but love and joy, remember, what's terrifying me right now is not what the people in my experience are doing. What's terrifying me now is not what's happening in the situation. What's upsetting me is not what that person or people are doing to me. What's upsetting me is not reality. That's not what's upsetting me, is the reality of the situation. What's upsetting me is that I think that reality, that something is wrong with reality. I think there's something wrong. And that I believe I can change reality to fit me. That's what I'm upset about. That's what I'm angry about. That's what I'm terrified about. Not what's happening out there, not what they're doing to me, but me protesting against reality. Something's wrong here. That's a protest against reality. Acceptance of reality is, hey man, reality is here right now, and it is wholly satisfying, and I think I'm just going to enjoy what is. Okay? That's the opposite of protesting against reality. That's what it means to accept reality and to really be satisfied. That's the only way you can really be satisfied. Okay? And so the practical application is notice when you're upset, terrified, angry, realize that's because that's coming from your insane belief that reality needs to be changed and that you can change it and that you would be happy as a result. And then do the opposite. Decide to accept reality as God created it to be right here, right now, which is wholly and completely satisfying. See, that's simple, huh? All right. Okay, great. Questions or comments? Questions or comments? And any yes buts?
I love the saying, and I hear it more and more these days, you be you.
You do you. You be you. Right.
You be you.
You be you. That'd be a great name for a new bank. You be you.
You know,
We need some new banks.
putting this in context at the beginning where it was talking about my sleeping dreams and how chaotic they are.
Yeah.
I've had some recent realizations in my sleeping dreams, and the last one I had was, you know how people talk about everybody in the dream is you?
Yes.
Which is same thing in our
Yes,
waking dreams.
that's right.
Everybody in the dream is me. So I realized that in my sleeping dreams, the people change constantly. Like I could be talking to somebody and then they're in a different person.
Yes.
And I wasn't conscious of that. And I woke up and I went, I've done that all the time. So that's really chaotic. You never know when somebody's going to change into somebody else.
Right.
So the really golden nugget here for me is when I think I can control reality and it'll be better, all I gotta do is remember my sleeping dreams.
Very good.
Because they're not better.
That's right. No doubt.
They're crazy. So,
Exactly.
it's
You're,
just-
that's all you're doing in your sleeping dreams, and they're chaotic.
Yeah.
They're not only bliss, you know, your sleeping dreams.
No.
They're usually quite terrifying.
They're very chaotic, and
Very.
I am very aware that I'm making them up.
Yeah, right.
And it's just like, I don't think I want to be in
That's a
control
very
of stuff.
good.
So, that was
So
helpful.
my upset is coming from my protest against reality. Something's wrong with reality, which means I don't want to accept reality. I want to change reality. Beautiful. What else? Yes.
So there's one line about dreams. It seemed like it was saying that dreams will disappear when you're completely awake, but right before that, your dreams will be happy dreams.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you wake up and you feel like, I don't really remember any dreams last night at all, because we've always been told, like, well, you were dreaming, you just don't remember what you dreamed
Yes.
about. But I'm wondering if maybe it is possible to have dreamless sleep, according to that's what this is saying.
It. What that is talking about is that before you waken from the state of dreaming, before you waken, you're still dreaming, but at least now your dreams are happy, which means you're not dreaming of control. Okay? So that's what it's talking about, that before you know, right now when the Course in Miracles says if you were to go from sleeping straight to awakening without having a happy dream, then it would be too frightening. It would be too much of a shock. So the Course in Miracles says, and says same thing in the special relationship. If Spirit just went, oh, your relationship is based on a big fat illusion, I'm taking it from you, that would be, you know. So instead, Spirit takes your special relationship and turns it into a happy relationship, okay? And then it goes from a special relationship to a holy relationship, okay? Great question. Okay, beautiful. Anything else?
I just want to say something that helps me personally is whenever I experience any type of upset, like, you know, my mind says I'm not at peace right now because so and so is doing whatever. I just look at it as a reflection of myself. Like, what is this person? What is the situation teaching me about myself? Why am I upset? So I kind of go within, and my mind will say, "Oh, this person's so annoying. Like, they're complaining all the time." And so I look within, like, what are they showing me? And so when I look within, it's saying, oh, you have conflict within yourself. And that's what, you know, your mind's projecting that out so you can see it. So instead of, you know, and it's, you know, it's easier. Sometimes, you know, it's hard because we get caught up in the moment. We become unconscious. But when you take that deep breath and you look, you're like, okay, I always try to go to that center where, what is that person teaching me about myself? Once I kind of settle down a little bit. And I think that always helps, you know, because the Course says, seek not to change the world, seek to, you know, change how you perceive the world. So I always look at everything I'm seeing is a projection of my mind. And so I'm like, what's this projection going to teach me today?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
And sometimes they're reflecting, you don't like what's going on with that person because they're reflecting things that you've done or you see yourself doing, and you don't like seeing it.
That's right.
You don't seem to, I mean...
You're irritated.
Yeah, because it's something
when people show you what you do.
What I've done.
But that you've been in denial about.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
I
how
find
dare
that
you
true
show me
sometimes.
what I'm doing that I don't like?
So they are teaching you something.
Absolutely. And so what we could do is just like we do dream interpretation when we wake up in the morning, we start to interpret the symbols in the dream because knowing that it's something, showing something of our consciousness, we could do the exact same thing with every single dream figure called AKA person in our waking dreams. We could go, what is this figure representing from my own consciousness? What is this, just like y'all were both saying, you know, what is this person showing me of my own consciousness, okay? And if I'm irritated or angry at what they're showing me, then for sure that is showing me something that, you know, my own control addiction, my own insane belief that I can change reality and that I want to. All right, yes. Did you okay? Anybody else? Great comments. Okay, beautiful. Well then, I'm just gonna do a 2 to 3 minute integration meditation. The details of my classes and mine and Greg's classes are in the body of this video, so check that out. And then I'll be here again Monday night here at the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center, 7 p.m. at the Miracle Center and on Facebook, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. All right, you guys.
Is this a time to let your people know? And everyone here,
Oh yes,
we're switching.
That's
to
right.
11
That's
for
right.
this in person.
Yes.
Instead
Oh, we are
of
starting.
Thank you so much for saying that.
April.
Starting April 2nd. Starting April 2nd, the 12:30 p.m. will be 11 a.m.
2 weeks.
And I
In
saw
2
that
weeks.
you're teaching it on the 19th.
I'm
right?
teaching it on
It's April 19th.
today's the 19th.
Okay, then the 16th. I've got it backwards.
Yeah. So I will be doing April.
11th.
I will be doing
16th.
April 2nd.
Oh, you will?
Yes.
Oh.
So 2 weeks from now, right, is April 2nd, and the 12:30 starts.
April 2nd.
at 11.
Yes, 12:30 becomes 11 a.m. on April 2nd, and I will be facilitating
Is
that.
someone else's name up there though?
I thought
No.
it was Matt, Anna, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not sure right now
Okay.
because it has changed because of the time. So
From there on,
thank
they
you.
have a potluck after.
Yes, and
Oh, I'll
after
be here for
April
that.
2nd,
What'd you
this
say?
will be 11 a.m.
Is on there for the 2nd on our website now, and we will be having a potluck after April 2nd, 11 a.m. in-person gathering, so please join.
Yes, we will have a
We'll have
potluck.
a social
after.
time.
Yes.
So what happens at 12:30 when you're doing the 11 live?
Nothing.
Nothing, because there will be no 12:30.
There'll be no 12:30.
The 11 a.m. is in person only, and also, and then the Zoom will either be also at 11 a.m. or another time if they choose another
They
time.
were pretty in favor today. We asked them, they want to stay at 11.
Okay, great. So there will be an online Zoom at 11 a.m.
Well,
How's that work?
Okay, all right.
we're
Okay.
gatherings in there.
All right, forget about that. Okay, so let's just do, yes?
Oh, today is, everybody needs to be out of the building by 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Okay, great. So,
Thank you. for
Relax and
telling-
hurry.
relax and actually, I don't have time to do an integrated. I don't have time then. So, all right. I appreciate you all so much. Yay, us, and I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks for updating us.
Oh,
on
you're welcome.
times,
Thanks, Carol,
because-
for reminding me. Appreciate you all so much.
Thank you,
See you
Carol.
next time. I see you.
Will